Hey everyone, and welcome to the closing ceremony of the Crowlympic Games. I did have a bunch of stuff planned, similar to what I did in the opening ceremony, though not quite as extravagant. But to be honest, I ran out of time, so we're going to do just a bit of a sit down and a chat to wrap up the Crowlympic Games. First of all, thank you to everyone who has stuck with me over the past week. I'm glad you've seemed to enjoy this series. I was a little bit concerned putting it up, especially with the opening ceremony, because look, I know it was completely ridiculous, but look, my hobby is making silly little crochet videos for the internet, so I'm not out here going to be taking myself too seriously. And I think we could all benefit from having a little bit of silliness in our lives on occasion. So I'm glad that the overall reaction to that was pretty positive. So again, thank you to all of you who have watched and stuck through this series with me. To finish off, I think I'm just going to go through the projects that we made, or at least the ones that I have, because my nieces and nephews might have absconded with a few of the frogs, but I think I've got everything else. And it'll be a good chance to test my memory and see if I can remember which day was which project. So number one, I'm pretty sure that was my mini cockatoo, the synchronized crochet event. And if you're interested in the original pattern for this, that was from Complicated Knots' channel. I'll put a link for that down in the description if you're interested. So thank you to Kylie for letting me borrow her pattern for this challenge. But there is my little cockatoo that I made. I don't think I did too bad a job. One of the things I had initially planned for this video was at the end of it to compare my pattern, the ones I sort of freehanded, to the actual pattern from Complicated Knots. But that was one of those things that I just sort of ran out of time with. That happened frequently. I was preparing for this challenge for many months, and I worked on it for about 3 months in the lead up, sorry Roboraptor, in the lead up to the Crowlympic Games, and yet I still ran out of time. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. But that was just one of those things. There was some, unforeseen interruptions, and I ended up getting sick, so 3 months wasn't quite enough. But I know that for next time, so next Crowlympics, I might have to leave myself 6 months to a year to prepare. And another thing I was actually going to do was I was going to attempt to do the full 2 weeks, sort of to match the actual Olympics. I'm probably going to need several years to prepare for that, so it's a good thing the Olympics only happens once every 4 years, huh? Anyway, that was event number one, synchronized crochet. Event number two, that was the frogs. I've only got a couple left because, as I said, my nephews and nieces, they nicked them because they like them. I've got this one, I've got this one, and I've got the derpy frog. That did not work at all. I tried to use bobby pins for this one. I folded them up now, but I tried to use bobby pins. That wasn't very successful. Not very successful at all. But if you saw that video, you'll know that I was really just trying out different techniques that could potentially make a crochet frog hop. And these jumpy toys were by far the superior option. I mean, that jump wasn't, but if you saw the video, you'll know they actually hop. So they were day two. I'll put you guys over there. Day three, what was day three? I think day three might have been my granny hexagon cardigan, which I did not finish. I've still got the yarn here. But I will be finishing this because this project and a couple of others that I did during this series are actually going to appear in videos at some point down the line, because these are actually the start of larger projects. So I intend to make a full video on this and a couple of the others that we'll get to in a sec. But yeah, that was day three, and I'd probably say that's the only one I failed, because I didn't quite use the full 500 grams of yarn that I wanted to. I had, again, this much left. Day four was the echidna. I'm pretty sure it was the echidna, so I finished my whip after a couple of years, and I do like how this looks. If you saw that video, you'll know I ditched the crocheting across the body method and went with the crocheting individual spines and then sewing them on one by one method, which is annoying. I'm not going to lie. It's annoying doing it like that. But it made the echidna look so much better, I think. So it's worth the effort in the end, or at least in my opinion. As much as sewing and weaving in all those ends gets tedious, I mean, I think the echidna speaks for itself. So that was day 4. Day 5 was granny squares. It's all right, I got it. Granny squares. And since then I've actually crocheted my way through the rest of that dark blue yarn I had. And I can tell you, because I think in that video I estimated I was going to get just under 20 squares. But now I can actually tell you how many that made, how many I got. So let me count. 19. I managed to get 19 squares from all of that yarn, which is not quite enough for the project I wanted to make with the squares. So I will still be making another project with these. It just won't be that original one I had planned. I'll have to switch things up a bit. I did have a backup idea, and that's what I'm going to go with. So this is another one of those projects that you will see pop up in a future video. But I'm going to put these back so I don't lose them. Day 6. What was day 6? Day 6, I don't have the butterflies I crocheted. They are currently hiding from me. When I got back from my sort of trip back home, I took them out of my messenger bag where I kept them, and I put them in a project bag, you know, something similar to this. I usually keep my projects separated in bags. And now I can't find that project bag. I spent all morning looking for it. No idea where it's got to. I'm going to have a much more thorough search for those later on, because those butterflies were again something that was going to be used in a future project. And I know I didn't crochet many of them, but I still don't want to lose them. I want to know what the hell I've done with them. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing later. Searching for crochet butterflies. I have no idea where I could have put them. And then day 7, our final day of the Crolympics, was my little Tiefin. This guy is so cute, both in Palworld and in crochet form. The one thing that bothers me about this though, well, there are a couple of things to be honest, but the one thing that really bothers me is I buggered up sewing the eyes. I put this eye 2 stitches back from the trunk, which is where I wanted it. And I put this one 3 stitches back from the trunk. And oh, it annoys me so much. And I didn't realize, for whatever reason, until I'd finished sewing this eye on completely. I'd already weaved in the end. Yes, I could get like a seam ripper and take this eye off and reattach it, but it just annoys me. It annoys me so much. They're not even. But even if they're not even, I still think my Tiefin looks pretty cute. There are a couple of adjustments I need to make to this pattern. I want to change up the shape of the legs. I think I need to make the tail a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower. But overall, I think I did okay on this Tiefin pattern. There's not too much I need to adjust or too much I want to change. So that written pattern, as well as the echidna, should be up on Patreon within the next couple of days. And the frog pattern, that is already up because that came out with the video version of the pattern a couple of weeks ago. Whenever that was, it was a couple of weeks before this video, maybe 2. I'll put a link for it in the description so you don't have to worry about scrolling back through my channel. So now that I have all my projects sitting here in front of me, or on me, as is the case, it's time for the medal ceremony. We're going to choose a gold, a silver, and a bronze champion. I think I'm going to give the gold. Who am I going to give the gold to? It's a toss-up between Tiefin, for just being the cutest little teapot elephant on the planet, and the echidna, because I was honestly surprised how much I liked this in the end. I didn't think the spines were going to work out very well, but no, No, I think they look pretty good. So who do I give the gold to? Maybe I give the gold to Teefant, because in all fairness to the Echidna, it did take me like 2 years to complete this, so I think I get a couple of points deducted for that. So Teefant gets the gold. Here, Roboraptor, you can hold Teefant for me. Which means I think my Echidna gets silver. So second place, not too bad, not too shabby. There we go, second place. And third place, the Granny Square's a bit boring. Probably so is the hexagon cardigan. The Echidna fell off the podium. Get up there. What was I saying? Yeah, the squares, the Granny hexagon, bit boring. We're going to eliminate those, which means the third place is going to be between the Froggos and the Birdo. I'm going to have to award third place, bronze medal, to the frogs, just because of how amusing they were. All of my nephews and nieces love these, and I had fun with them too. So for that alone, I'm awarding them the bronze medal. So here we are, your 2024 Crowlympic champions. Do you agree with me? Who would you award the gold, silver and bronze from this challenge? I should have crocheted little medals for them. But with the medal ceremony over, it is time to officially wrap up the 2024 Crowlympic Games. Thank you again to everyone who watched, to everyone who stuck with me throughout this series. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. As sort of exhausting and time-consuming as it was, I thoroughly enjoyed working on this series. It was a bit of a change from the series I've done in the past. I know for Easter and Christmas I've done bingo, which I did enjoy doing, but this was just something a little bit different, and I look forward to doing, similar challenges in the future. Maybe we can do something for Halloween. Might have to start planning now if I want to have it ready in time for October, but it is definitely something that we can attempt. Lastly, the written versions of the patterns will be available on Patreon if you're interested in that. Thank you again for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you guys potentially next week, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to finish the video by Friday, so it may be the week after, but I'll see you when I see ya.